Hey everybody, it's Tommy from AldermanFarms. My lovely wife Patty, my better half, will be joining us here in a little bit. We had a little crazy evening, I guess you could say, and Patty's over taking care of her mom, getting her squared away for the night. And so that's, it is what it is. So she'll be here before too long. She'll join us. So in the meantime, I'm having to drive Facebook and YouTube all by myself. And so I see, hey Wanda, Krista, Craig, Linda on Facebook. And I've got quite a little crowd over here on YouTube. Let me pop out this chat thing so if I can have any kind of hope that I can keep up without Patty here. Every time I have to do this by myself, I develop deeper and deeper respect for my wife, who does it by herself. Just makes it look so easy. It's not easy, I'll tell you that. So, and the first thing I see in the chat is Tim Beverly saying he won't be here tonight, apologizing. And I hate that, Tim. I hope you're still watching long enough. Probably not, though. Hopefully you'll watch it on the replay, because one of the first things I had to do was brag on Tim Beverly. We are so thankful to Tim. Amy Fuel, who is a mad genius, by the way, the Homesteaders of America Conference, first annual, just went on without a hitch. There's Farm Girl in the making. Hey, Ann, I got some pictures of you we're going to be showing here in a little bit. Ann accetta-scott on Facebook. So, hey, Amy, I was just talking about you. Your ears might have been burning. I called you a mad genius. That girl's got some mad administrative skills. Her and Tangy Wheat and Cherish from Hope's Homestead. It was amazing. The Homesteaders of America Conference, first annual, went off without a hitch. It went off like a conference that had been the 10th annual. It was amazing. But anyway, so getting back on to Tim Beverly, who's not here, can't hear any of this. For some reason he can't be here. Patty had been toying with the idea of having a vendor booth. And she kept saying, but I don't want to be stuck in a booth. I want to go listen to these people talk. I want to go hear Joel Salatin. I want to go listen to Esther and Doug and Stacy and Ann and others. And so Tim volunteered. Tim Beverly reached out to us weeks ago and said, look, I got 2 daughters. Man, we'll handle your booth. We'll take care of your booth. And you can go do what you want to do. And so Tim was there, and y'all probably, if you've watched any recap videos of the Homesteaders of America Conference, you've heard people talking about Tim and his golf cart. I don't know if anybody knew Tim was bringing a golf cart, but they're all glad he did, because he was the limousine service, he was the taxi service, and it was so funny as the day grew on, and everybody had been on their feet longer and longer, you started hearing Tim's name on the radios more often. Hey Tim, where you at? Can you come up here to this front building and get me? And he was running like crazy. But what a valuable service that Tim provided, not only with that golf cart, but listen, his daughters who were absolute dolls, Olivia and Victoria, who stayed that whole day almost to the very end. And they had to go feed some critters, but it was almost to the very end. And Patty and I, although we did come, we wanted to spend some time in the booth for when people came to the booth, maybe expecting to see us. But Patty and I could go wherever we wanted and stay gone as long as we wanted, without the least bit of concern that our booth was in good hands. And so Victoria and Olivia, thank you. You guys are A+ in our books. And Tim, of course. And then we also had Larry showed up, his brother Larry, who was a pretty skilled knife maker, I might add. And I think Larry's thinking about maybe having a... You didn't miss the stream, and it's just live now. Farm Girl in the making. Hey, Vivian. You didn't miss it. It just went live. We've only been live since right about 8 o'clock. So anyway, Amy, I think I think Larry said he may talk to you about a booth next year. So anyway, great vendors. The guys with the, I can't remember their name now, but they're local. I think they're a Virginia company, Solar Power Company. And super guys. We hit it off with them and just laughed and cut up. They just were so easy to talk to. And afterwards, I walked by and I jokingly said they were tearing their booth down. I said, "Well, did y'all make $1 million?" He said, "We ain't counted it yet." I mean, you know, he didn't just say no. He said, "We hadn't counted it yet." But the guy, and I made sure to tell Amy this too. He said that was the best conference that they had participated in all year. Well, it's October, you know, so I don't know how many. I didn't ask him how many they'd gone to, but. And, you know, I kind of got the flavor that most of the vendors were very, very happy. I know that the deputies, there was a couple of deputies there working security, and they made the comment to more than one person that they had never been in a crowd that size that was filled with such friendly people. Isn't that neat? Y'all, we are surrounded by friendly folks. You know, the people who enjoy this lifestyle enjoy life, I think. And enjoy each other, and we're the type of people who take care of our neighbors, so forth. And those deputies noticed that. They noticed it, and so I got quite a few pictures to show you. I don't have them all loaded up because I think I took 300 and something pictures with my iPhone, and we took pictures of our whole vacation because we had a great time. We stopped at well, I'll show you this. Let me get my I got them all down here in order. I don't know if I got them in the right order or not. I don't. Here we go. On the way there, we stopped at Thomas Jefferson's Monticello. Took us a couple of days. When I was a younger man, I'd have drove the whole thing 14 and a half hours all at once, but I'm not a younger man anymore. And so we took 2 days, and on the Thursday, I guess it was, we went to Monticello. And just fascinated by Thomas Jefferson's gardens. And then on Sunday after the conference, I'll get all this non-conference stuff out of the way. We went to George Washington's Mount Vernon. George Washington is a hero of mine. And I got tons more of these pictures. That's either the front or back. And that's either the front or back. we couldn't figure out. I think that was originally the front that faced the river. And then on our way home, we stopped at the Walton's Mountain Museum, which was pretty cool. But I'll get to the conference pictures in a minute. But I'm trying to kill time, giving Patty a chance to get over here because I know she wants to add her 2 cents in about the folks that we met. And you know, I can tell you this honestly: we weren't disappointed in any of you. You know, think about this for a minute. We know all of y'all online, right? Well, you know, you can be who you want to be online. You can pretend online. You can act one way online and act another way in person. And when you're as tired as you are at the end of a long day at a conference like the Homesteaders of America conference, the real who you are comes out. It's harder to keep up pretenses when you war slap out. And I wasn't disappointed in any of you. I hope nobody was disappointed in us. I hope you guys who follow our channel know our motto is where life on the farm just got real. And there's more meaning to that just than we want to show you real happenings around the farm, good and bad. You guys know that a theme of our channel is to be real. We want to be who we are 24/7. Since Patty and I became Christians back in the early 90s, a prayer of ours has been, Lord, let us be real. We want to be the same people Monday through Saturday as we are on Sunday. And so I hope you found us to be the same way that we are, the way that you know us online. And I was happy that everybody we met was like we expected them to be online, or even nicer. And it's just a pleasure to, and the same thing, to be truthful, the same thing could be said about the folks we met at the Great Appalachian Homestead Conference back in May. Everybody was like they should be, or like we thought they would be, and just so kind people. And, it's the type of people that gravitate toward the type of lifestyle that we love, I think. Just real people, just real folks, salt of the earth, dirt under their fingernails kind of people. So, man, hey, Cindy Ayers, y'all. Cindy Ayers is in with us on the Facebook chat, and she is a local rock star. You need to go on Facebook and look up Footprint Farms and look what Dr. Cindy Ayers. I don't think she likes being called doctor, but she is doctor. And if I was a doctor, I'd put doctor in front of my name, because that don't come easy. But let me tell you something. Cindy Ayers is an absolute doll. She is a sweetheart. She loves us. We love her. And you ought to see what she's doing, mentoring the youth in the inner city Jackson using agriculture. And she has got it going on. And she grows some incredible produce and does it sustainably. And the things that she's doing in central Mississippi for small farmers and sustainable farming and mentoring youth should be a pattern to be replicated all over this country. And I mean that, Cindy. I'm proud to know you and happy to have you on our live stream here. I know I'm missing all kind of stuff, because this chat is y'all just talking amongst yourselves, and that's fine. Big Bear, we did not get any seeds from Jefferson's Place. We didn't, but I tell you what we did do, and Patty, when she gets here, she'll probably talk about this. Patty has been online as recent as today, ordering seeds of the same heritage type varieties of many of the plants, or some of the plants that Jefferson grew, and some of the plants that Washington grew, because there are several that will grow here. And we just think it's neat, to be able to say Thomas Jefferson grew these. And we've got a viewer named Tom Matthews who's like a Thomas Jefferson expert. He would probably blanch at that and say, no, I'm not an expert, but he's done a lot of research about Thomas Jefferson and his gardening prowess. And Jefferson would scoff at that, me saying he had gardening prowess. In fact, one of his famous quotes is, "I'm an old man, but a young gardener." And it's just because there's so much knowledge that can be had, and he felt like he only had a sliver of it. But we didn't get any seeds from there, although the temptation, it was tempting, because we're just walking through the gardens they got down there, and of course the stuff, the stuff they're growing there it's not like it's been continuously in production since Jefferson's days. But Jefferson, they knew what he grew, and they knew the specific varieties, because Jefferson was absolutely OCD, meticulous at writing down everything. So they knew dimensions, precise dimensions and precise Latin terms and just all kind of stuff. And for the most part, we did learn that there were some plant names that he wrote in the common verbiage of that day and that time in that area that they don't know what it is. But for the most part, they do. But we just walked through the gardens, and there were several different types of plants that had seed pods on the vine, just dry, ready to be grabbed and put in your pocket. But we didn't do it, because that would be stealing, and the Bible says, "Thou shalt not steal." And so, now I ain't telling you if we maybe would have seen somebody with a official shirt on, we might have asked them. But probably the answer was no, because they have, I think they said 400, don't quote me on this, but I think 400,000 people go through there in a year. It's a bunch. And if they told everybody, they just, they wouldn't have any left. So, anyway, so let me see here. Hey, Grandma. I see Nunda here. I see Suburban. Let's see. Big Bear's in the house. Speaking of Big Bear, let me show you a gift. Big Bear, you got a wrench, okay? Robin was supposed to send me a link, and she forgot me. She don't love me. She forgot me. And she didn't send me a link, I don't think. She may have, and I just might not have seen it. Because when I show what I'm about to show, everybody's going to want one of these. They may not want the colors of mine, but I want the color of mine. So when we got there, we ended up having our booth set up right next door to Big Bear and him where he was doing his demonstration. And Robin presented me with a gift. Of course, I didn't care what it was because it's purple and gold. And so whatever it was, purple and gold, I like it. But I liked it even more when I found out what it is. This is a bar of homemade soap. And no, this is not just packaging. You use it like this. What a neat idea. I don't know what you call this stuff. Patty probably does. I don't know what you call this material. But it's not like super scratchy, like it would be uncomfortable to use it. But it's rougher than, it's not like baby skin soft. And it's got these little ravels built into it, so it'll have kind of an exfoliating sort, kind of a function on it. But Robin asked me today if I'd used it yet, and I said, well, if I had a chance to use it. And my answer to her was, well, I've had a chance to use it because I have showered since we got back home, but I hadn't used it because we're terrible about unpacking. and we as of today, we have not completely unpacked from our trip. And so this was packed up in a bag of goodies, and we got it out today really just because of the show, because we wanted to show some of the stuff that we picked up while we were in Virginia. And but you can bet the next shower I take, I'm going to be using my nifty little soap thing. And so Robin was supposed to send me a link where other people could get one if they wanted it. Hey, Deep South. And so, Big Bear, if you're still here, welcome to my world. Get a hold of Robin, and you got a wrench. And so, put a link to where people can order their own little soap package. I love it, and I'm sure I'm going to love it more when I see it. Hey, Aubrey, thanks for joining us. So, I'm just going to keep talking, if y'all don't mind, because I hate taking the time to. I hate the way that it causes the show to kind of break up when I take time to read this, and I'm hoping Patty will make it over here shortly. We're supposed to sing and sign tonight, and y'all just forgive us if it doesn't work out. Everything's fine. She'd be letting me know if it's not. But sometimes things take a little longer than they need than other times over there. So she's planning on being here shortly. But let me talk to you about, as you know, if you've watched us for any length of time, we didn't just go to the Homesteaders of America conference to go have a good time, although we did. We also went because I'm so honored that Amy allowed me to come and present on the topic of when trauma strikes, surviving the aftermath of a critical incident, otherwise known as a high-stress event. And so I did that, and it went well, I think. I didn't do a head count, and I'm terrible at guessing, but I would say somewhere between 30 and 50 people who sat in and listened, and everybody was attentive, and everybody laughed when they were supposed to. Not everybody, but at least somebody laughed when I wanted them to. They didn't leave me hanging. And I was able to present the material of the stuff that helped me and my family cope with the trauma, the emotional, mental, physical trauma resulting from being attacked by a 140-pound Anatolian shepherd who's trying to eat your face off and trying to kill you. And I knew that, trauma doesn't just happen to public safety professionals. It can happen to anybody. I'm former public safety, but I'm not now. And I wasn't when the dog attack happened. And the same principles and stuff that are taught to help public safety professionals and military folks get through traumatic events like that apply to you and me. And so I wanted to get that message out. And so it was well received, and I had a number of people, come up afterwards and talk to me and thank me, and tell me that they took some important things away, and that was very affirming, But I've been dying to tell y'all this, and I think I posted something about it on Facebook. And I've got this young lady's permission. I told her I didn't want to use her name, but I've gotten her permission to tell the story. That it was probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes after the presentation, because I don't know exactly, because we kind of milled around inside the building and chatted a little bit with the Pratts, and then by the time we made it out, so anyway, it was at least 30 minutes after the presentation, if not 45 minutes or longer. And we were breaking down our booth, because it was time to do that. And a young woman approached me who had tears in her eyes. In fact, she was crying. And when she opened her mouth, she had difficulty talking to me. And she finally managed to get out, "Can we talk?" And I said, "Well, certainly." And so we walked a few steps away to give her some privacy. And again, she had difficulty starting what she wanted to tell me. She was so choked up. But eventually she was able to tell me that approximately, and forgive me, I can't remember if it was 5 or 6 years, but I think she said 5 or 6 years ago, she had lost her husband in a tragic vehicular accident. And the gist of it was, he was supposed to be home at a certain time, and he didn't make it, and she couldn't get a hold of him, so she went out to look. And she knew the path that he would normally travel. And she topped the hill, and there was an accident scene, with lights and all, and I think she, if I remember correctly, says she kind of knew, but she couldn't get real close. She parked and got out, started walking down toward it, and was intercepted by a law enforcement professional. And "Can I help you, ma'am?" And she identified herself and gave her husband's name and asked him if it was him. And his initial reaction was, "Let's turn around and walk back up this hill." And of course, I'm sure that made her know, but she needed to hear it. And so she pressed him, and he finally relented and said, "Yes, ma'am, it's him, and he didn't make it." Well, and there's more details of the story that, I don't need to share them, not because they're anything, just for time's sake, nothing else. But to make a long story short, at some time while she's on that scene, and she told me, she said, "Mr. Alderman," she said, I was dumbfounded. I was dumbstruck. I was deer in the headlights. Tears didn't come. I just was in shock, whatever you want to call it, and just stunned. And at some point while she was still on the scene, she overheard one person say to another person. They weren't talking to her. They weren't trying to be malicious. They probably would be appalled to know that she even heard them say this. But one of them said to the other, for a young wife who just lost her husband, that her reaction's not what I expected, or her reaction's not normal. I don't know if they used that exact word or not. But she didn't say anything to everybody. You know what happened? She carried that for 6 years or 5 years, whatever. She carried that burden on top of the pain, on top of losing her husband, on top of all of that. She carried the pain of the burden of wondering what was wrong with her for 6 years. Until some gray-head dude from Mississippi showed up and told everybody, any reaction, including no reaction, is a normal reaction. And you are a normal person having a normal reaction to an abnormal event. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to witness that young lady lay that down after all of that time. And I just can't tell you, I had shivers all up and down. I mean, I hugged her, she just boo-hooed. And I'll have you know, I followed up with her. I sent her a message to basically ask her if it was okay if I told the story without mentioning her name. And she graciously said, yeah, because it might help somebody else. And she told me that she had to pass by there where the accident occurred on her way home from the conference. And she said, I did so without incident. I was able to drive right by there. Now, she didn't say this specifically, so I may be wrong. And if she's watching, I hope she'll correct me if I'm wrong. I took that to mean that that's not normally the case, that she can't just ride by there without having some type of difficulty. But now that she's able to lay that burden down, now that she's able to understand and believe that she's normal, her reaction was perfectly normal. And another thing I taught in the class, point number 3, I want everybody to remember is everybody reacts differently to a traumatic event. So don't judge somebody else's reaction based on how you think you would react. And that's what that person did innocently all those years ago. They judged her reaction based on how that person thought he or she would react. And it left this young woman carrying a heavy burden for 6 years. So was my trip worth it? It was worth it in so many ways. I mean, getting to meet so many of you guys and hang out. One more thing. When we went to Mount Vernon, we ended up riding a shuttle with a family from Las Vegas. And come to find out, they knew people. They had friends who were at that concert. And one of them was a victim. One of them had been shot in the back. And so I was able to point them, give them some, and Patty too. Patty actually did most of the teaching with her, and to help prepare them and help them to deal with what they're going through. So anyway, I got a favor to ask. We videotaped the presentation, and it's up. It's up on our YouTube channel. And look, it's not monetized. I don't want a nickel from that video. But what I do want, and what I would appreciate and consider a personal favor, is if everybody watching this live stream right now, how many? There's 98 people. There's 98 of you would go copy the link to that YouTube channel and share it on your Facebook timeline. Share it in groups that you're in, because everybody potentially has the potential to face a traumatic event. Everybody. It is an equal opportunity attacker. Trauma is. Doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care how wealthy you are, how poor you are. It doesn't care what color you are. It doesn't care what job you're in. It can hit you out of nowhere, and you can be ready, or at least more ready. It doesn't mean to say that if you watch this video and go get the PDF and memorize all this stuff that you're just going to skate right through. That's not what I mean. But what I do mean is knowledge is power, and you can equip yourself to be ready to at least know what to expect. And when you know what to expect, it does help you get through these things more easily. So would you do that for me? Please go share it, and share it. I don't care where you share it. Share it. And again, it's not monetized, so don't worry about that. I'm not trying to fill my coffers. What I am trying to do, and what I hope to happen, would be to fill my inbox with messages from people saying, thank you. Here's what happened to me. And because I read what you wrote, or read the stuff that you put out there, or because I watched that video, we survived. Or, our processing of that trauma was shortened, and we came out on the other end. And boy, here's what happened to me in the days that followed. And because I read that stuff and watched your video, I knew that might happen. And it made all the difference. That's what I want. I want to hear from people who this material has helped, okay? So anyway, thank you, Linda. All right, so I'm off my soapbox, and Patty's still not here, and it's 8:30. Well, I'm not going to sing unless Patty's here to sign, so you'll just have to wait on that. All right. So let me see here. Man, there ain't no way I can. All right, look, y'all know the drill. We ask you to put questions for us or comments in all caps. That applies on Facebook and YouTube. Linda, you're too kind. Hey, Kelly. Because it makes it easier for us to see. And if we don't catch it, put it again. And if we don't catch it, put it again. We're not ignoring you, especially tonight, y'all. It's overwhelming. I mean, I'm here by myself. I abhor dead air, so I'm scared to death. That I'm looking over here trying to read, and all y'all hear is crickets in the background. And so I know I'm going to miss some stuff. I see people saying, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Hey, Coco," and I just can't. I'm just not man enough to handle all this by myself. So thank you, Suburban. I hope so. It really is. It really is life-changing stuff. I see a flashlight on the deck, so that's good news. Yeah, Big Bear, we can probably talk about the coyote. So we had Big Bear's referencing. We had a coyote in the backyard today. Not really in the backyard, but he had a hold of a little pig, and I didn't get a shot off on him. But that's twice. And within the only 2 times since we've been here in 2000 that I've actually laid eyes on a coyote. They don't normally come up that close. So, thank you. Thank you. Patty's here. Patty's here. I've just been talking. I hadn't hardly showed any pictures because
What you been talking about?
I've been talking about. Well, I talked about the presentation that I did.
Oh,
I talked about the young woman coming up, afterwards.
what a blessing that
What
was.
a blessing
huh?
that was. I talked about, the family in Vegas. I talked about my cool gift that Robin
Yes,
sent me and
yes.
never gave me a link to say where anybody else could get one.
Uh-oh.
But if I get that from Big Bear or Robin, we'll put it in the. Oh, I meant to say that at the outset. In the description of this video, thank you, Aubrey. I hope you get a chance to look at that video, Aubrey, because I need your professional critique, you and Tim both, because I want to get it right, and I want to make it better, and it can always be better. But thank you, brother. I love you. The description of this video on both Facebook and YouTube has way more links than it normally does, and we always have a bunch of links. But we tried to put links to everything that we were going to talk about tonight, and we don't have a whole lot of time. We may have time to sing, though.
Well, seeing as I didn't get to look at my words, maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay. But it was great as thy faithfulness, and it was such appropriate with the anyway. All right, so Patty, I've showed the pictures of Monticello and Mount Vernon,
Okay.
but I haven't done anything from the conference yet. So can I do that now?
Yeah.
So everybody wants to know what was the highlight of the conference.
I'm trying to get my iPad opened up for the conference.
Yeah.
So
So
the highlight of the conference.
And so, that's a question that people ask, and it's hard to pick just one, okay?
It is.
It's hard to pick just one. But I got to say, pretty near the top of my highlight list. And I've got about 5 highlights for me. I just described one. That testimony, that young woman.
That was awesome.
That has to be number 1.
That was awesome.
But other than that, this right here is pretty close.
Oh, that's right.
Bandana Grandma knew I was been aiming at her neck for a long time.
Yep.
And I found her and I got me a hug. In fact, I got several hugs. And I've been telling Bandana Grandma and whoever else will listen that Bandana Grandma has the most huggable neck on planet Earth.
Well,
It is just screaming for a hug.
And I tell you, wait, let me let Sue again. She's going to be barking. Yeah, let Sue again. Sorry. I tell you what, I really enjoyed meeting Mick, Bandana Grandma's husband. He's a really a very, very nice, kind man.
I'll tell you what, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Another highlight for me was I got to spend quite a bit of time with Mick. And every time he was a quick change artist, because I told him every time I look at you, you got different clothes on. But he was an absolute joy, such a pleasant gentleman.
Yes.
He had such kind words for the things I had to say. He came in and sat on my presentation, but we several times throughout the day visited with him.
Well, and I met different ones, and we took some pictures early on, And then we took some pictures. Look, my hair's crazy. I didn't even brush my hair for the show, y'all. I'm running. Sorry about that. But you know, we didn't. I didn't think to take pictures. And one person that I didn't take a picture with is Southern Dutchman. He told me, hi, it was good to meet you at the conference. We got to chat for a good few little minutes and everything. And then he actually, do you remember meet him? I introduced you to him.
He came by later today.
And everything, but it was earlier that I had met him. I got to chat with him and everything. Just in passing, we started talking and everything. So it was just really good to meet different people. You know,
it was.
And so I can't remember what me and Tim talked about, but we had a nice little chat.
Tim ain't in here, and I've already bragged on Tim.
I'm talking about Tim.
Oh, the Dutchman?
Dutchman, yeah. But yeah, oh, look. And I meant to send Tim a message because I tell you, he hung around our booth when he wasn't running, helping somebody else, and his brother Larry came, and his daughters, Victoria and Olivia. Is it Olivia?
Yeah.
And they helped us with our booth, and so that way we were able to. Oh, the video is backwards. I mean, it's slow. It's bothering me. But anyway,
it'll fix in just a minute. I forgot to kill everything.
It's fixed now. But anyway, so it was just really neat getting to see people. Oh, and B Lady said the pictures of the gardens were beautiful. You know, dumb me. I didn't even think about going there and getting to see the gardens, and that they had to have been very big gardeners and everything. And I love it.
They didn't have Walmart.
Yeah, I mean they had to eat and everything.
They didn't have farmers market.
At Thomas Jefferson's place, the raised bed, the permanent rows. George Washington's place had kind of more like what we would consider raised beds, the way they were done and everything.
Certainly permanent beds.
Yeah, definitely permanent beds. But they were what struck me, with us with the square box gardening and the permanent rows, we're doing it where we don't ever walk on it. That was impossible for them because it was if they were done just like they were, the width that they were there, you have to walk on them to pick them. So it wasn't so much that you didn't walk on those. They did have walkways, but
yeah.
Anyway,
I told everybody.
I've got an idea in my head. I haven't told Tommy.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I've already made sure I told everybody, put your comments and questions in caps so we can see it. And if we don't answer it, put again. And if we still don't see it, we're not ignoring you. But what I meant to say was, we're not ignoring you unless you're talking about a split rail fence.
I may have seen a comment scrolling through.
I can't promise you we're not ignoring you if you're asking me if I've started on a split rail. I haven't started on the split rail fence yet. Man.
So, anyway.
See what you got me into?
Hey, no, look.
And now she's got another idea.
They're on my side. Well, listen. We
got termites.
Anyway, in their gardens, where were we at? Where they had the cisterns? Was that at George Washington?
Yes, that was at Mount Vernon.
Yeah, they actually would have like this big, huge square or rectangle, and it actually had maybe like triangle pieces going in, and little walkways out of grass going all the way to the middle to this cistern.
Like a cement and bricked.
Yeah, I mean it was big. It was bigger than a bird bath. But in Mama's backyard, where there was a tree at one time, and with a septic tank that is kind of taller, and the pigs have been back there rooting, and so there's not a lot of grass. I thought that would be so cool if we built like a hexagon bed, and have little paths going up to but we just do a bird bath.
Yeah, I like it. I like that idea.
And have like a kitchen garden. They call these kitchen gardens and stuff, but I'm talking about having like a few bell pepper in there, your green onions, maybe some garlic, some chives, lettuce, some herbs. Stuff that you may want to just pick that's green, like your green onions, and throw in something or something. Yeah. That would just be really cool.
I like it.
So you're in there. Okay, good.
Let's do that before we do the split rail. Yeah, in lieu of the split rail fence.
No, I want to have something like that split rail
Richie
fence.
Bryce.
But I agree. Hey, Richie. I agree that a whole split rail fence would be labor intensive to do, number one. I mean, like going down my driveway, but it would really look cool.
We got a long driveway.
It would really look so fine.
It'd be about as long as what you saw in that video.
But we could have just a small area.
That's fine.
So.
Like decorative, you know.
So you're agreeing, like maybe when you turn into Mama's driveway, have like 2 sections of a split rail fence.
I'm fine with that.
Did everybody hear that? And so this for Chris Rust. Tootsie, because he's so into the termite thing.
Cough it up, Tootsie. Die later.
And if it does get termites, then we would just build another one.
Yeah.
This is on video.
I'll make it out of ironwood.
It's on video. I'm getting my split rail fence, a very small section of it. And he's saying yes and agreeing to it. So everybody,
I didn't say when. Eventually.
Yes, I am an architect, bee lady. In my mind. I can draw asking. Yeah. I didn't draw anything on this trip on the way home. Last time I drew a chicken house.
She gets that from Thomas Jefferson. He drew everything. He wrote everything. All right, let's look. Listen, let's show some more pictures from the conference.
Yes, because we don't have a lot of time.
Here's the lady herself.
Oh, Mark said Amy said that Mark just built a garden like that, exactly like that for somebody else.
Wow, cool. Well, he can build one for us. Look, you're not looking at the pictures.
Oh, yes, and we got to meet Amy. Well, I feel like I had already met Amy because...
Yeah, because we did a Skype call.
Yeah, we did that Skype call and everything, but it was good to see her in person, and I knew Amy was going to be short. I could tell that Amy's short, and I had never met Ann. I never really had talked with Ann, so that was neat to see her.
She is a nut. She is an absolute nut.
Do I have a picture? Oh, yeah, there she is again.
Of who?
With Hope and Cherish.
Yeah. Here's Nunda.
Nunda.
Wait, let me go back to that. There's that's Tim's arm holding up rabbit ears behind us there. And we're getting photobombed by the one and only Janet Garman. That's Janet.
Oh yeah, there's Janet. I didn't get a picture with Janet.
Y'all, Janet should go in business showing people how to design their booths. Because she had all that wool stacked up. It was just so inviting. It was so well done. It was so, and it was funny to listen to her talk. She didn't think so, but she was really good. She's a sweetheart. All these people are sweethearts.
Yes, but and there's Nunda right there. That's the first time I met Nunda. But anyway, I was on the Southern Mama's coffee break with Hope and with Cherish and Amy. And Tangy. And
there's Cherish.
Okay, yeah, we got a picture of Cherish. And Cherish and I are about the same height. And I didn't know how tall she was going to be. But she's tall too. And Tangy's tall. I knew Tangy was tall. But there's one person. There's Tangy right there. So we're tall. So that's why I said, everybody was the right height. But somebody fooled me with their height. This is the first thing I said when I met...
Hang on, before we change that picture, just let me tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
Another of my many highlights. That fella right there in the middle, sitting next to Tangy, the caver's wife, is Jack the Caver.
Yep,
and Jack was such a gentle soul and just eminently easy to talk with, and we just had such a nice time together, and I really wish we'd had more time. But anyway, so back to your story, Patty, about your surprise.
Yeah, and then the first one, I've never met her, Esther, in person. And the first thing I said to her, I said, Esther, and then I said, you're tall. I was so shocked that she's tall. I just had, she's tiny. She's teeny, but she is so tall. She's really a little bit taller than me. And so about the second thing I said to her was, your husband must be real tall. And she said he is. He's about 6'5". And so I was just so surprised that Esther was as tall as she is.
Speaking of tall husbands.
Yes.
I had no idea that Doug from Off Grid and Doug and Stacy is like 8'16".
I had no idea either. And you see, I thought Stacy was a little bitty short thing, and she's tiny and she is short. She's teeny too. But Doug is so tall.
I get it now though. I understand. He's Sasquatch. That's a huge man. I just had no idea. I knew he wasn't going to be short like me.
Well, you're not short.
And he's even taller than Jason. Jason, of course, as everybody knows by now, is taller than me.
Yes.
But we were set up right next to Jason and Big Bear, and I don't have a crowd shot here, but Man, Jason had people in front of his booth all day long, and he was out there.
He demonstrated
tearing
those
up the
traps
ground
and
making stuff there. And of course, always that's Doug and Stacy. Sorry about that. I had another picture somewhere. I thought of Joel Salatin. We didn't even get a picture with Joel.
Nope.
We'd met him before, and I didn't try to. I know he doesn't. Oh, here he is. Him giving his speech. Knocked it out of the park. And if you ever get a chance to go hear Joel talk, or I would recommend every book he's ever written.
Yep.
And then some of our most favoritest people on the planet.
Yes.
Are the Pratts.
That's
Mike
right.
and Jenny, or as we affectionately call them, Princess and Jenny. Princess Pratt and his lovely bride, Jenny. And one of them took my favorite picture of the whole conference. And that's it right there. I got me a little sugar. And it was preserved for posterity. But I'm going to tell you, man, we love these people.
Yes.
And it just hate that they live so far away, because I think we'd probably, well, it's probably a good thing they live that far away, because they probably get tired of us.
Yeah, we had a really, really good time. But Esther was a highlight. Seeing Esther speak out of the speakers, I enjoyed Esther. I got to see Doug and Stacy, and I didn't get to hear their second talk that they did, but I enjoyed. They're very sweet, and we were able to thank them. They gave when Tommy was attacked by the dog, they encouraged their audience with us.
Yeah, they really did. And it was nice to be able to thank them in person.
We really wanted to do that. And so it was at the very end of the conference. It was dark, and when I got to get Stacy by herself and got to talk to her, and so that was just.
Which is another thing. I mean, they're big time, right? Would everybody agree Doug and Stacy are big time?
Yep.
They were there till after dark.
Oh, yes, they were.
They hung around, and
they came real early, and they stayed till after dark.
They came early and stayed late, and had time for anybody. And one of the most amazing stories that came out of the whole thing is the Hawaiian family was there. There's a family that came from Hawaii, right? Little girl, I can't remember, was she 11?
Yeah, I think she was
either
about
9 or 11. Somebody will correct me, I'm sure. They may have won something or something like that. Anyway, as I understood it, the bottom line was that little girl had a choice to go to Disney World.
Yeah.
Or come to the Homesteaders America Conference to meet Doug and Stacy. And she picked meeting Doug and Stacy over Disney World.
Yep,
Can I tell you something? We might be winning. We might be winning this battle,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For that gives you hope. Nothing wrong with Disney. I love Disney World. But so I'm not bashing Disney World. Don't save your cards and letters, but for a child that age, that they're doing that mama's doing something right, mom and daddy, and that's just amazing.
Yep.
That may be all the pictures. Cool. Look, there's way more pictures. I started to load a ton more pictures, and I just didn't because
Farm Girl and Megan said she's 12, and Big Bear put on here Aloha Homestead, so maybe that's.
Okay. I actually had a picture I forgot of Janet's booth, and that picture doesn't do it justice. I had others that were from the distance away, but that wool looked so inviting that you just wanted to go jump in it. And so shout out to Janet, and she was so very nice.
Yeah, she's very sweet.
It was so funny. She introduced herself to me right off the bat. Hi, I'm Janet. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. And then a few minutes later, I figured out that she was like the Janet. She was like Janet Garman, the Janet Garman. And I went and grabbed her and I said, "You're not just Janet. You're like Janet Garman. Oh, my word." And she was great. I enjoyed her. But we enjoyed everybody.
I would like to get to spend more time with her. I just didn't feel like there was enough time. But there's a fix to that problem.
What is that?
Next year, it's going to be 2 days
Next
instead of
year,
1.
it's going to be 2 días.
Yeah.
So, 2 días.
We're already making plans to go back. So.
Yep, and I may actually be presenting on the same topic again. According to Amy, she may let me do it again, and somebody else in the family may be doing a class too.
Who?
You.
Me? On what?
Sourdough. You may be doing a sourdough presentation.
Sourdough?
Yeah. So anyway, whether we do or not, it's Linda Ennis says she came over because Doug and Stacy mentioned us during that thing. Well,
Wow,
awesome.
that's
Thank
awesome.
you, Linda.
That's awesome.
I'm very glad that you
Yes.
came.
Very thankful. And it just, it was just such a good time. Just the fellowship, the fun. Everybody was so encouraging and so nice and so kind. I just can't say enough about it. It was just really, really nice.
Well, and Amy said, I don't know if she's talking to us or somebody else. Oh, yeah, maybe us, but just stay longer so we can hang out. Well, that's something, we may do that. We may make it a day longer on both ends, or at least one end. I mean, we took a while.
Well, yeah, and the problem with it too is that we take 2 days to travel there, 2 days to travel home. That's 4 days out of our time away. So that makes it hard.
Can't be gone forever.
Yeah, it makes it hard for us to be able to spend a whole lot more time there.
But
of course, we want to try and see
but the good news is we
the
got
sights too.
and we knocked a lot of that out this time.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm still tired. It caught up. I kept going, and boy, we got home. When we get home Tuesday evening, and I had
Jake.
energy, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna start knocking this out tomorrow, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that.
Jake, you may have to. Jake Reed says,
hey, Jake.
Good to see y'all streaming. Keep it up. You don't think old people know how to stream, Jake? What's up with that?
That's one of Cameron's best friends, Jake.
We've been doing this for about 2 years now, right?
No, we have not. It's just been a little over a year.
It's been over a year, I guess. We've been doing this show every Sunday, but that's okay, little whippersnapper. Thank you for your encouragement. Jake's a good guy. He's and you need to holler at me sometime, Jake.
But
anyway. What else?
Anyway, so we had a really good time. It was just really good. Also, have you showed them anything we bought or anything?
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Goodness. Okay, now first off, I got me another Encyclopedia of Country Living.
40th anniversary edition.
40th anniversary edition. And Esther actually signed it for me. This is her mom's book. Yeah, you do it. This is her mom's book that she composed over quite a few years. And I'm going to tell you, if there's only one book that I could choose, I'm sorry, Joel, I'm sorry, but if there was only one book, this was my first homesteading book, was one of these. Well, I should go get that one. It's all torn to smithereens.
It's in tatters.
Because I've used it so much. If there was only one book that I could have, this would be it. So, anyway.
Because it's got the answer to virtually every question that you come up with. So.
And it's been updated and with the current websites and everything else. We got that at the conference. We're talking about what we got at the conference. I also got some knives. I'm the one Tommy didn't spend any money at the conference.
I didn't. I'm saving up for my scanner.
Now that's not true, because we talked about that cutter, that thing. That hangs on your belt. You didn't get it.
Right, but I ordered it.
Yeah. Tell them what it is.
The log ox.
Yeah.
I forgot to put that in the links too. The log ox.
Yes.
Genius device. In fact, the way I first saw it was from Doug and Stacy. They did a video about it, and log ox was there, and it's just a handy, brilliant device. You'll see it once I get it. I'll do a video for carrying wood around by yourself and converting into a cantilever, and it's brilliant. And I meant to get one on site, and I forgot and didn't. And so I ordered it when I got home. I sent the guy a message, man, I said, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you what he did. He immediately refunded me $10.
Yeah.
Because that's what the deal they were giving at the conference. I didn't ask for that. And the guy's hilarious. I was hashtagging him. He was hashtagging me back in our messages. It was so funny. But I was hoping it'd be here, but I didn't order it soon enough to catch it here before the weekend. So it's scheduled to be here Tuesday.
But anyway, back to my knives.
Don't point a loaded knife.
I got this from Cornerstone Farm. And they
Farm Ventures.
Farm Ventures.
Cornerstone Farm Ventures. There's a link in the description.
Anyway, I went by the booth, and I told him I needed me a good, sharp, all-around knife for processing my chickens and everything. He pointed me to this. I got two, because sometimes I have help.
Sometimes she does it with both hands.
Yeah. But anyway, because the way we do it is Tommy does the killing, the scalding, and the plucker and everything, and then I get the chicken and sometimes Corey. And
thanks, Andy. Go ahead.
And anyway, so that's going from cutting the feet off to the neck off to the gutting and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, and I was excited. You know how much you pay for this knife? You act like you scared of me with a knife. I paid $15 for it. You know, there was much more expensive knives there and everything, but I told him what I wanted to do, and he said, this is the knife I use. And it was $15.
It's got such a great feel to it. You're not gonna let go of that.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not small, so I mean I've got fairly long fingers, but I think somebody with a small hand could still handle it fine. But I really, really like it. Oh yes, Suburban. They're gonna go with their peas. Poultry processing patty.
Oh, Jake said, "Good to see you keeping up the show." Ha ha. Most folks give up. We're not quitters, Jake.
Anyway, I got me Lodge Camp Dutch oven cooking. I'm excited about that because I really want to master this. I want to learn to do some Dutch oven cooking. What else did we get? Oh, go get my big thing outside that I let you use the other day.
It's in Mama's.
No, it's not. It's right
Oh, it's right here?
I got this.
Yeah, I got it. We're about out of time, but that's all right. If we go a little over, it's okay, right?
Right. What's the name of that place? Cool Tools.
WayCoolTools.com.
This is a thing. It's got a name. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, it's to, like doing by hand, you know, because I do the permanent beds and the square foot. But anyway, to cut the weeds down. I mean, you're like, I can't make it look right in the picture. But anyway, to do like that. But I wanted one of these. To be able to do that with, so I was excited about this, and I had to leave Tommy's talk and run go get my thing because I saw they were picking up. See, this is a
broad fork.
Broad fork, yeah. And if you notice, we've already been using it. It's dirty, but you see it. This has kind of got more like blades on it rather than just spikes. So it aerates and everything, but it's also good for like clay soils, which is what we have, and it's also good for if you have rocks. And he started telling about the rocks, and I just said, I don't have rocks. I don't have to worry about rocks. But very, very nice people. They have a, where's their catalog at?
I don't know, but there's a link in the description. But I got to tell you something funny about that.
See, right here, and they have a bunch of different stuff. One thing I want to get is this rake. And see, we're doing the permanent beds, and so it's to aerate them and everything.
Yeah, Ginsu knife chicken. Yeah, I do remember those commercials.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ginsu chicken knife.
This is one of the next things I want to get because that you can get it. You see the different widths you can get, and so I'm going to get me one of those to like finish off the top of my beds, and then I can run it down the bed and I can plant, you know, like every one or whatever I'm planting. So I'll also make my little thing to put my seeds in. So I'm excited about that. But that'll be the next thing I'm going to get.
So we actually went live in the garden.
Yes.
Today, was it today?
It was yesterday.
We went live in the garden, and I was in one of those boxes, and I was stepping on that broad fork and all that. Well, we had somebody commented on the video today. So have you ever actually watched? Have you ever seen a video to show you actually how to use that thing? And I said, my response was, apparently not. You know, I said, but you know, feel free to make a recommendation, you know, and so...
Are we doing it wrong?
I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, tell me how to do it. That's how he said to do it.
Okay, well, anyway, so...
I thought.
Maybe I wasn't doing it right, but I'd love to know how to do it right, so send me a link to a video showing me how to do it.
See,
that's a picture book. He's pushing forward. Anyway.
Yeah, you push it, you can rock it and pull it back.
Okay, well, that ain't what I did. Oh. So, anyway.
Well, we'll watch a video.
Yeah. So I hope that commenter will point me to an expert video on how to do that thing correctly.
But anyway, I'm excited about it. I just wanted to be able to loosen my soil a little bit and to be able to aerate it a little bit. And so, because we're trying to do the no-till. So, anyway.
Yeah. Time's up.
What I liked about that broad fork is the prices on them. Like that one right there, it's $215, and I have seen them cost a lot more than that, and they're made with aircraft metal.
They call that one an unbreakable broad fork, You know, while there ain't nothing's unbreakable, but I got news for you. That thing looks tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really, really been good. Also, have you showed them this stuff right here?
No!
I got it was the farmer's market before we left for the conference. Our friends of ours, we actually asked them to pray for Richard, because when Richard had his stroke and everything. Tommy actually met Tricia through work, working up towards Jackson. Anyway, they've come to the farmer's market a few times, so we've kind of struck up friends with them. And she brought us some little prizes, some little gifts. And she makes these, and she actually sells them. She has a shop set up. Now, this one's kind of dying because the light's too bright.
Yeah, the
but anyway,
light's too bright.
This is just like a little hot plate. I love the colors and all, but she did a great job. And then look at this. I have actually made these one time, and my mother-in-law made them. But this is a oh heck, I can't think tonight.
I don't know.
But you know, to grab a hot pot. Y'all gonna tell me what it is. But anyway, for the oven, an oven mitt. Duh. Anyway, but it's round, so it's so cool. But and it's nice and thick. I used it today, so I love it. So
and I've
I was
actually
just
got
really tickled with that.
A link to Trisha's Facebook page. It's called Crazy Stitches. Her Facebook page is linked down there. And Richard custom makes flies. And so I don't know what this big long.
That's one of my hairs, I guess.
Yeah. So he made me some purple and gold flies. I won't be fishing with them. I'll be keeping them. I'll be hanging them somewhere. But apparently he'll take orders for those too. So we're thankful for Richard and Tricia. They are a trip, and we appreciate them very much. So,
Bandana Grandma said, "Loosen your soul. These northern ears are having a problem." Soil. There. Loosen your soil.
But we're fitting to loosen our soul because we're gonna sing.
I told you, I'm not, because I don't know all of the words.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't, and I told you that already.
All right, well then let's just do the chorus, and we'll do the whole song next week. Can you do this? Or maybe this and this?
I don't know the sign for shadow. I don't know what the sign is. I don't know summer and winter.
How about, all right, can you just do this one? Just the chorus? All right, so we'll just do the chorus of Great Is Thy Faithfulness, because I'm going to tell you, that's what jumped out at me with the testimony of this young lady who got set free by hearing the stuff that I talked about. And I thought to myself, Lord, I got attacked almost a year ago by a giant dog who tried to kill me, and you used that to set this lady free who had been carrying that burden for 6 years.
Yes,
and I thought, how faithful are you? How faithful are you? And so we'll just do the chorus, and then hopefully next week we'll come back and redo the whole song.
Yeah, that sounds good. We've had Tomas this weekend, so I've been, you know.
So this may, I may mess up too because.
Do you need to do something with the volume?
No, I think I got it down though, because I'm not going to be loud. So if I mess up, I'll just start over.
That's right.
Because I may start trying to sing the verse instead of doing the chorus.
Well, okay.
Ready?
You can just sing the first verse if you want to. I don't care.
Okay. And you just don't sign.
I can sign it. Oh, I don't know shadow. I'm just going to do black. I'm just going to do black shadow. Okay. So
Great is thy faithfulness, O God my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. He's faithful, y'all. He's so faithful. Hey, Richard, Mr. Litchard, your ears must have been burning. We were just talking about you.
Yep.
Just got through showing everybody your handiwork. So get ready. The orders are going to start flooding in, maybe. Tens and tens of people are going to contact you now. But, well, we just got time to remind you that whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. You can find that in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. And I'm sorry we ran over tonight. But, you know, things happen. Sometimes more important things happen.
I didn't join y'all for the whole show, but just couldn't be helped tonight.
Just couldn't be helped, and we know you don't mind. We know you forgive us. Although I know you'd rather me be late than Patty, but that's all right too. So I know on which side my bread is buttered.
Okay, y'all. I hope y'all have a blessed week, and we'll see you Sunday, if not before.
If not before. Thanks. Good night, y'all.
Good night.